And as I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, 2 days ago, a new streaming service joined the fray, Discovery Plus, becoming the new kid on the block as the streaming wars heat up even further. I want to bring on David Zaslav, Discovery Inc.'s CEO and president. And we also have Yahoo Finance's editor-in-chief, Andy Serwer, joining us now. Good to have you both here with me. David, I want to start with you here. We have a graphic that I would like everyone to see of all the streaming services and their costs. And at $4.99, that is with ads, Discovery Plus is really at the low end of this spectrum here. But as I'm looking across, for folks to purchase even just, a handful of some of these services, it's starting to become a lot, some people are saying. I'm wondering if you think that given all of these options and perhaps even the price of all of these options, if you think that maybe folks are going to say, hey, you know what, maybe I need to just go back to cable, a cable subscription, or maybe that perhaps we need to start seeing some bundling and some consolidation in this space.
Yeah, I think it's probably the latter. What's interesting about that list that you have there is almost all of those products are scripted series and scripted movies. And our strategy has been that space is very well defined by Netflix and Disney globally. And they're both very effective and they're getting scale and growing to scale. Then there's another 6, 8, 10 players that are trying to be in that same space. So all of them are one of 8, one of 9, one of 10. We're one of 1. When people watch television, they only spend 40 or 45% of their time watching scripted series and scripted movies. They spend 55 or 50% of the time watching us, watching Deadliest Catch or Gold Rush or Oprah Winfrey or HGTV, The Property Brothers, Chip and Joanna Gaines, and the brand's crime, all the crime content that we have where we're the leader in crime. And so as everyone has gone towards scripted series and scripted movies, we have aggregated, including we picked up History Channel content and Lifetime content. We now have the full bouquet of real life entertainment. And it's what people spend more than 50% of their time watching. And so we now hit the market today. Yes, we're inexpensive, which we think is a great advantage. Unlike many of those other products, like Disney, we're global. Disney, Netflix, Discovery are the only 3 truly global IP media companies. And like Disney, which was very effective, we're on every platform. So we're on Roku, we're on Amazon, we're on Samsung. And finally, we have your parent company, Verizon, which as Verizon was very helpful to Disney, Verizon will be supporting us for the next year and offering 6 months or 1 year free of Discovery Plus to all Verizon customers and promoting and supporting us. So we think that we have a very differentiated product. We're off to a great start, and we're available ubiquitously by everyone. And we have a great company like Verizon with Ronan and Hans and Aaron and Frank, the key people at Verizon that really see that we fill a niche that's not being filled in America. And if you have Netflix or if you have Disney, you're going to want us. A lot of those other services you're probably going to churn in and out of. But we believe that the 3 global players in the marketplace right now are Netflix and Disney and us.
Right. David, Andy Serwer here. Thanks for coming on. I want to ask you what inning you think we're in when it comes to the great unbundling for American consumers with their cable packages.
Look, the cable business itself is quite healthy. The advertising market is very strong right now. It's come all the way back, and it's still the best way to move product. And as we look at ourselves over the last year, we've been able to generate huge free cash flow. Our share is growing around the world on cable and free to air, and people are still turning on the sets in their living room and subscribing to cable. Having said that, it is declining, and it's very important that we get all of our IP to people everywhere in the world in a way that, as successful as we are on cable, we want anybody with any device to be able to see us. And the unbundling has already started. Disney's acceleration of growth has been astounding. And in a way, they created a great path. Netflix and Disney have begun to teach people to buy content and to consume content on all devices and how to move it around. But I view Disney and Netflix as like race cars. They're sports cars. Great scripted series, great movies, and there's a lot of sports cars on that highway that they've developed. We're like a Suburban. We're not the same as them. We're different. Family might have a sports car, but they're going to want a Suburban. We have loads of family entertainment. We have the content that people love, and we go really well. If you have Disney, you're going to want to have us. If you have Netflix and Disney, you're going to want to have us. If you have Netflix, Disney, and HBO, you're going to want to have us. So we see ourselves as a key in the rebundling of content. And so we're very successful. We're either number one or number two in America for women on cable. But when we see globally that as people re-aggregate their apps, that there's a lot of them that they're going to churn in and out of because of a series. But we have great brands, great characters, and we fill in this one-of-one, this real-life entertainment that allows people, when they get up in the morning, to watch food shows or HG shows. And our research shows that people watch things like The Crown at night on appointment viewing or The Undoing. And those are great, great series. And we have some of that with Oprah and Chip and Jo and the Property Brothers. But a lot of our content is great content that people love that they're going to watch while they're cooking or while they're homeschooling their kids or in the background while they're working. And so we're a companion to all of the existing products, but we're also a great companion to people in America and around the world. They get up in the morning and they put on Food or HG or our crime product ID or Discovery, and they watch us. And that is going to, we believe, be very compelling, even in this new world where you're watching your device or you're putting your TV on and you're not a cable subscriber.
And David, just a quick follow-up on this bundle question, and that is, how do you manage that relationship with your cable partners when you're saying, we're going to go direct to consumers, but we still want to work with you? And I'm curious, I always ask that to the people at HBO and Disney as well, of course.
Well, first, I think we're a little bit different because we're very key to the bundle. We're the number one company for women. And they get up in the morning and they watch Food or HG or ID or Discovery or Oprah Winfrey. And so we have brands that people in America love. And when people think of the cable bundle, everybody only tends to watch 5 or 6 channels. And we're the top 5 channels, top 6 channels, or at least 3 or 4 of the most popular channels for most women in America. And we're the top 3 or 4 channels for most men in America with Discovery and Animal Planet. And so we're very key to the bundle, but also in the pandemic, our channels have done better. So where a lot of the other repeat channels have declined, we think that our value to the cable operators has gone up because we have a lot of this great comfort content that people are spending more time with. And we're still producing a lot of original content for cable and for our free to air. So we think that these are two ecosystems that can coexist. And it reminds me of when I ran cable and syndication at NBC. We had Law and Order. And when we sold Law and Order to A&E, we thought maybe the ratings on Law and Order would go down. And A&E ran it 3 times a week. The ratings went up. We then sold it 3 years later to Turner for TNT. They ran it 2 hours every single night. And you would have thought, oh, I bet your Law and Order goes down. The Law and Order on the NBC network went up. And so you can't always tell. We've started promoting Discovery Plus. We got people subscribing to Discovery Plus, but our ratings are rising because people are being reminded of all the great products that we have and great brands and great characters. And they're spending more time again with HG and Food. So we think this could be a win-win. We have a traditional business that generates massive free cash flow, which is growing. And then we have our new global product, and it's really only Netflix, Disney, and us that could play on the global stage.